Stillness, abundance, love, and light, health, and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love, and light, health, and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love, and light, health, and wholeness. To the cosmic consciousness, family, and soul tribe. I hope everybody's feeling good for no reason at all, radiating, operating, emanating, exuding the best version of yourself in this moment. I'm going to start with a question, family. And it may challenge some people. But a lot of us familiar with the creation story. And how things was made until the day that God took rest. But if on the seventh day God rested, who inventoried all the work that was made? Because that's the day's topic, the Sabbath. And even though the day is the 6th, it's the 7th day. So we're coming out of the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. If you don't have one, it's a good book to have in your arsenal of many books. You hear me? Charles Fillmore, the Sabbath. And even though this message is timeless, it's being done on a Saturday, which is the 7th day. So we're going into the Sabbath and what that means in case or in the event that we may have missed something because somebody wrote something down about it. So we're going to see what the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary has to say according to the Sabbath that can expand our information and expand the knowledge that we have about the information we already hold. Sabbath from Hebrew, the 7th day, 7th month, 7th year. Did y'all catch that? Restoration, restitution, return to a former state, at one-ment, atonement, completion, perfection, wholeness, repose, rest. The 7th day of the week, under the old Jewish law, no one was allowed to do any work on that day. Exodus 20:8-11. The metaphysical meaning of the Sabbath is as follows. The Sabbath is the consciousness that we have fulfilled the divine law in both thought and action. The Sabbath of the Lord has nothing to do with any day of the week, contrary to popular belief. God did not make days and weeks, nor, let me back that up. I ain't gonna act like we ain't just hear that. God did not make days and weeks. So who did? Nor has he darkened his clear concept of truth by the time element. So who did? Time is an invention of the human. The Sabbath is a very certain, definite thing. It is a state of mind that man enters or acquires when he goes into the silence of his own soul, into the realm of spirit. The Sabbath is a state of mind that we enter or acquire when we go into the silence of our own soul, into the realm of spirit. There we find true rest and peace. The 7th day means the 7th or perfect stage of one's spiritual unfoldment. We just came out of 2023, the year of spiritual unfoldment. This year, 2024, which is an 8, we should be going into the manifestation from the spiritual unfoldment of last year. It ain't gonna look the same for everybody. There we find true rest and peace. The 7th day means the 7th or perfect stage of one's spiritual unfoldment. Man had become so lost in the darkness of sense consciousness and materiality that we could not save oneself. So a Savior came. When man lays hold of the indwelling Christ, the Savior, we are raised out of the Adam consciousness into the Christ consciousness. We then enter the 7th stage of the unfoldment, where we find rest and peace. The Sabbath can be enjoyed at any hour. Man shows his ignorance and limits his happiness by confining the Sabbath to any one of the days of the week. He should learn to read the Bible in the spirit and pay less attention to the letter of it. The Sabbath as an institution was established by man. God does not rest from his works every seventh day. God does not work from his rest every seventh day. And there is no evidence that there ever has been a moment's cessation in the activity of the universe. Because even when we resting, there's still work to do. And most people, when they try to rest, they'll find themselves having something to do. Those who stick with most of the Sabbath day observers are met on every hand by the evidence of perpetual activity on the part of him whom they claim to champion. We are cited to the trees, flowers, suns, and stars as the work of God. We are told that it is God who sustains and governs, controls, and directs them in every minutia. Yet trees, flowers, suns, and stars are active the first day and the seventh day of the week, just the same as on other days. Sacerdotalism has never yet found that the operations of nature on Sunday are in any way different from its operations on any other day of the week. It would seem that if God ordained a certain day for rest and rested on that day himself, he ought certainly to have left some evidence of it in his creations. But he has not, that anybody knows of. The fact is that divine mind rests in a perpetual Sabbath, and that which seems work is not work at all. If you love it, it ain't work at all. When man becomes so at one with the Father mind as to feel it consciously, he also recognizes this eternal peace in which all things are accomplished. He then knows that he is not subject to any condition whatsoever, but is Lord of the Sabbath, Lord of oneself. It is your privilege to be as free as the birds, the trees, the flowers. It is your privilege to be as free as the birds, the trees, the flowers, the turtles. They toil not, neither do they spin, but are always obedient to the divine instinct, and their every day is a Sabbath. Every day is a reason to feel good for no reason at all. Feeling good is feeling God. They stand in no fear of an angry God, though they build a nest, spread a leaf, or open a petal on the first or on the seventh day. All days are holy days to them. They live in the holy omnipresence and do the will always of him who sent them. It is our duty to do likewise. That which is instinct in them is in us conscious, loving obedience. When we have resolved to be attentive to the voice of the Father and to do that will at any cost, we are freed from the bondage of all man-made laws. What was a chain about our wrist or a yoke about our neck in the form of some fear of transgressing the divine law slips away into the fathomless sea of nothingness, and we sit on the shore and praise the loving goodness that we are never more to be frightened by an accusing conscience or by the possibility of misunderstanding the law. We are not to quarrel with our brother over observance of the Sabbath. Let people believe what they want to believe. If he insists that the Lord should be worshipped on the seventh day, let us joyfully join him on that day. And if he holds that the first day of the holy day, let us again acquiesce. Not only do we do God's service and praise, song, and thanksgiving on the seventh day and the first day, but every day. In the true Sabbath, our souls are turned upward to God every moment, and we are ever ready to acknowledge his holy presence in our heart and our life. We are ever praising the holy omnipresence that burns its lamp of love perpetually in our heart and keeps the light of life before us on our way. This is the observance of God's holy day. The divinely wise soul always recognizes every day is a good day. The true church is the heaven within one. The true church is the heaven within one, where one meets the Father face to face, where one goes to him at will in closet fellowship. On the other hand, the observance of every Sabbath day as a day of rest, or Sabbath, has its source deep in the constitution of things. Among nearly all people, similar rest days have been instituted, and history proves that Moses was not the originator of the system. The observance of a weekly rest day is now very widely held to prove a natural basis in the needs of man. The consistency with which such an institution has been maintained for many centuries among Jews, Christians, Mohammedans, and some of the so-called pagan nations amply supports this view. It has been found by experience that one day of rest in 7 is the right proportion. During the French Revolution, when a 10-day period was substituted for the week, 1 day's rest in 10 was found insufficient. And on the seventh day, God finished his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and hallowed it. This quotation from Genesis presents in concise words a law that pervades the universe. According to some geologists, the rock-ribbed earth beneath our feet bears record of 6 great creative periods, with a seventh in process of completion. 7 movements of the creative law are found at the foundation of the world about us. The 7 colors of the spectrum, or the rainbow, the chakras, the 7 principal tones of music, the 7 senses of man, 2 not yet universally used, all point to these degrees or days of action and rest. When man in his wisdom unites his thought with divine mind, as did Yahshua, he has power to use the same creative law that God uses in bringing forth the universe. Y'all catch that? The 7 elements of the body are found everywhere. And though understanding that they are not fixed, material things, but forms of thought, man gains entrance to a realm where he can speak words that will give him the obedience of those elements according to your power. When you have gained power to still the stormy, undisciplined thoughts in your own mind, you can speak to the winds and they will obey you. When you have arrested the scorching currents of anger that burn up your body cells, you can quench the fire in a burning building. When you have ceased to drop into the weak, watery mental states called discouragement, despondency, and fear, you can command the waves and walk upon the waters as did Yahshua. Before man can rise into his natural dominion, however, he must understand and realize that God's whole plan of creation is to bring forth the perfect man. This means that man is the supreme thing in creation and that all laws are for his convenience. The universal tendency of great men to manifest this inherent excellency proves that it is natural. Most of them miss the mark by seeking to dominate other men and nations before they have mastered themselves. When men set up a law and make its observance burdensome, they are slaves of their own creation. The Jews had become burdened with the observance of the letter of the Sabbath commandment and had a multitude of ridiculous prohibitions and formalities from which Yahshua sought to rescue them by his example of bold freedom and disregard of certain man-made laws. The Sabbath was instituted for man, not for man. The Sabbath was instituted for man, not man for the Sabbath. It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath, whether it be preaching in a pulpit, healing the sick, or in any other way saving men from ignorance and its results. Luther said of the Sabbath, keep it holy for its use's sake, body to body. Keep it holy for its use's sake, both to body and soul. But if anywhere the day is made holy for the mere day's sake, if anywhere anyone sets up its observance upon the Jewish foundation, then I order you to work on it, to ride on it, to dance on it, to feast on it, to do anything that shall reprove this encroachment on the Christian spirit and liberty. To repeat, the true Sabbath is not the observance of an outer day. The outer is but the symbol. The true Sabbath is the state of mind in which we rest from outer thought and doings and give ourselves up to meditation or to the study of things spiritual. It is when we enter into the stillness of our inner consciousness, think about God and the laws, and commune with Him. Thank y'all for your time, energy, and attention. It's short but sweet. Today's emoji will be a turtle. Trust the flow. Feel good for no reason at all. Feeling good is feeling God. To those of you who are new, I gift back to the community at the end of the month. Today's emoji, which will need to be placed in the comment section as well as be subscribed to the channel, will be a turtle. That's all it takes for you to be submitted into the raffle at the end of the month. As simple as that. Other than that, stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Thank you for your time. Once again, thank you for your attention. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your effort. Thank you for your appreciation. My name is Sabu. Love y'all, family.